What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That Sowdev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We've got some tea to get into. I got a feeling you know that already. But before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else. Okay? Including YouTube. We got a popping over there. Girl, look, here's the real tea. Girl groups are so back. Okay? Do you hear me? Like, I'm so serious, actually, because I feel like every other day I'm seeing a girl group being formed or coming out of nowhere or, you know, competition shows to find the next girl group. Maybe, to find a band generally, but I'm seeing lots of girl groups being formed even on this Netflix band show. And you had the whole Academy show on Netflix that spawned Cat's Eye, and it's just I don't know if people are willing to admit that the process of finding Fifth Harmony and the blueprint of Fifth Harmony in itself has kind of inspired people to take a lot of those routes. And you gotta hear me out because the whole reality thing to put a group together or find the next group and sure, right, like sure, we've had America's Got Talent, American Idol, blah blah blah, all these things, but X Factor specifically where groups could be put together because American Idol groups were not being put together. But look what came out of X Factor: One Direction, Little Mix, Fifth Harmony. They defined a whole decade. And so now people want to kind of recreate that on a bigger scale, which is why we've seen so many different things of people wanting to find the next boy band or the next girl group. And it's just this whole idea that no matter where the group is, doesn't matter if it's a K-pop group across the freaking globe, they want to break the US market. And the only two groups to really do that was One Direction and Fifth Harmony in the States. I mean, you got to give them girls some credit. You can say whatever you want to. You can call them messy if you want to. They were overworked, underpaid, drained, mental health literally in the gutter. Like they were working overtime to make something happen that was draining them every day. They weren't seeing anything. They weren't getting anything out of it really, except, this fame that I'm sure probably felt weird because they're not seeing a cent from it, but they see their song going to the, top of charts. I mean, number four on the Hot 100. I mean, girl groups really don't do that, especially in this day and age. I mean, 2016, no. Everybody was like, what? That's unheard of because it hadn't been done for at least a decade or so. So, I mean, we'll see what girl group becomes the next girl group to break into the top 10 or the top 5. Fifth Harmony was the last in 2016. That was a decade ago next year. But, after Fifth Harmony really went on hiatus, Little Mix followed, and there was this gap of no girl groups, really. I mean, there were K-pop groups, but I feel like people in the US, like, they do have a large fan base here, obviously, too. But the reason why these songs don't latch on is because I feel like a lot of people can't relate. And I don't feel like it's so digestible for people to adjust to the K-pop lyrics. And I know that sounds like laziness, but that is the reality. Like a lot of people don't know what they're saying, and that becomes a roadblock and a hassle when they want to listen to music and they want the experience to just be easy. They don't want to have to work. And I feel like as a side note, it's also why people really don't understand rap. Like they really can't comprehend it and they need it digestible in order to be able to really enjoy it and follow along and to stream it and those are typically the rap songs that do become hits. So I don't know. It's interesting to me, the girl group experience, because there's so many factors surrounding it. Because the group has to be aligned in several ways. I mean, down to the looks, they have to be coordinated. Sure, you can freely express yourself, but within these realms, it was a big thing with Fifth Harmony. They had to find space for themselves within this box, unfortunately. Right. And hearing the experience of girl groups having to fight for things. It makes me also wonder about the Cat's Eye experience, because Fifth Harmony was very honest about the fact that they almost essentially had to battle to get parts on these songs, because there's no guarantee that you're going to be put on whatever part that you like or whatever. It's not going to be your decision. And I know it's not theirs. So chances are they wait to receive the final song and then hear who has what part, because they probably recorded the whole thing individually. Who knows? It works so differently for girl groups. But I do kind of wonder, because we have girl groups coming from every angle, right? You have a Cat's Eye, and then you have a Flow, right? Flow didn't come from a reality TV show. They weren't put on any platform to be able to release songs and have several million streams, like 30, 40, 50, like, you know what I mean? It truly was, we're literally getting a shovel, digging this dirt up and starting from this ground on up. And then we're also making music that's not super digestible to the average listener, because the average listener wants to listen to pop. The average listener wants R&B that vibes with the pop audience. The songs have to be digestible. So, eh, let's be for real here, okay? I think that girl groups who create the digestible songs win the game. And that sounds so nasty. It does, but this isn't the 90s. It isn't the early 2000s. Like, you know, not all of Destiny Child's songs were digestible songs. Look at the hit songs compared to what's on the albums. And yet they were able to sell these songs, sell these albums, have maybe a single that wasn't too digestible and was able to sell. I mean, girl groups really, they don't even get the opportunity to fully express themselves. If Fifth Harmony could not make R&B music, Epic wasn't having it unless it had an EDM or pop flair to it. Whatever they knew would sell. Cat's Eye makes music that a label would know would sell. Their opinion would be that would sell, without a doubt. And I always talk about the formula that labels try to make their songs have. There's a formula, there's key words and a lot of certain things that they want in songs to hit home with the audience on the opposing end. And songs like Gnarly fill that space for them. So it's kind of a clear indicator to me that obviously Cat's Eye is a manufactured group versus one like Flow. And that's not a comparison, because the experience is totally different. But like I said, there are several different girl groups. I mean, you look at even Say Now, totally different. I feel like they're kind of in the realm with Flow. And in a way, they kind of plant their seeds a little bit after Flow. I think that they'll get their moment. I think that they're figuring it out. And I hope that the group Say Now actually sticks it out to figure it out, so that way they can get to that success and enjoy that success. A lot of girl groups, they reach that success and then they just disband. Fifth Harmony, Camila left at the worst possible time. Like I could go on because the heights that they could have taken it for not only just themselves but also girl groups. They really could have. Fifth Harmony could have worked their way to a number one song. You know what I mean? They could have really revived. They could have done a lot for the space, and they still did, regardless. But I don't think that their journey was through, and that's the part that sucks. And it's because of the label essentially. Girl groups are seen as an expense, right? These outfits have to be coordinated. It's more than one of them, blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, and they're just looking at it overall as an expense rather than, okay, we have all of these talented girls in this one space right here. Let's just invest in that. They don't. They really don't. The only people that do, I feel like, are K pop groups. They do groups correctly. They do. We're so lazy with them. I feel like groups that are just, I mean, internationally, generally speaking, in the US, like now they're just so lazy and just like, I don't understand it. I don't know what happened, but I feel like also, because we have to talk about it, right? June's Diary. What a phenomenal group that didn't get a chance to breathe. And there's another group, I cannot remember what it is, but McKaylee's in the group. I cannot remember the name. Boys World. I think that they had potential, but they're like, and I don't mean this in a shady way, but they're almost what Cat's Eye is. Like, they kind of want it to be that. But I don't feel like they had the platform in order for that to really pop for them. And they really had to resort to internationally doing these shows. I noticed that kind of go into the K-pop narrative because they appreciate groups. They do it the correct way. They made the music that sits right with that audience. That, for the most part, was their audience because it wasn't here. That kind of music doesn't resonate here. You can push it, you can push it, you can push it. Maybe you'll get a real cute debut on the Hot 100 chart or something, but it's going to go out after maybe the first week, the second, three, four. I don't know. It's not staying because it's just it. No, the audience isn't accepting it. But I think it is a testament too because you have people like, let's say, Jenny, who has the most streamed song on global Spotify, right? And it outstreamed Lady Gaga. But in the biggest market in the world, Lady Gaga's song would be bigger. But globally, it is not. And that often the weight of her, like Jenny being such a globally streamed person, it will kind of bleed into the Hot 100 because the rollout of the song may not be targeted to the US, but because of the streams and the amount of energy that they do get, it's enough for them to debut high on the Hot 100 chart without them being focused here. Because when we see views in the US, we see them as views for us. Wherever you are, that's where you think those views are from. But the views are from all over the world. So let's say like Miley Cyrus even got a million streams, right? Those million streams, everybody's like, it's going to count towards the Hot 100, but that's not necessarily true because not all of those streams are coming from the United States. It's really this centristic view that people kind of have that everything that they see is based here. And it's just not. And I think that when you do stay in girl groups, you become way more aware of that just because girl groups are global, they're international, no matter what. I mean, again, look at Little Mix, look at Fifth Harmony. I mean, Fifth Harmony has so many diamond singles right now in Brazil, it's kind of insane. Oh my goodness, like, I think the impact that girl groups have on the industry is so huge, but the US does not appreciate it. But I think that Cat's Eye is really um they're creating the conversation again. And they're giving the industry no choice but to talk about them. because they're constantly in your face. And typically, when it's a K-pop group will typically do this, and it'll be in your face. But again, right, it doesn't connect to the audience, it doesn't resonate. But all of these girls, they're different nationalities, but they're rooted in this country. They're rooted in this market. So everything that they do ends up targeted towards us. So we get to hear songs like even Game Boy or Gabriella, or even if it's Gnarly, even though Gnarly still steps into the K-pop area, it still has this American type vernacular and even African American vernacular rooted inside of the song to where it connects to us. The audience can still hear it and still kind of bump with it too. So I don't know. It's interesting to me because I feel like that they really have an opportunity to take this market by serious storm. And they're doing something on a higher scale that Fifth Harmony ever had the opportunity to because they didn't have the platform. They have the platform to work themselves up into actually reaching the top 10. My prediction is Cat's Eye probably will. I personally would love it to be Flow, but I know that that's probably going to take a lot more time because a lot of R&B artists, I don't think they're going to be treated like an LMA type situation where it really is a slow burn, and then they get this hit one day and it grows, and then they get a couple more, and then it just slowly adds on to the list. So that's just really the experience that I see, and that's unfortunately because that is what the R&B and black side of it has to go through. They have to work a billion times harder just to kind of get a fraction of what their white counterpart would. That's just the reality of it. So, and I think that Cat's Eye sells a brand that's, well, not necessarily black. That's what I'll say. So, again, more digestible. Songs like Gabriella, right? Like, Gabriella obviously hits this market, but I think it was the smartest move that they ever could have done because it made it very clear that this group, although up until this point, has been targeting the K-pop area, it's global. And that solidified that. So I don't know. I give them snaps and claps for that. It really changed my perspective on that group. So I'm looking forward to seeing other girl groups really hone in on their identity because I feel like a lot of people have been just learning who they are. I feel like Flow knows who they are as a group. They're really exploring it further, but they know. I feel like Cat's Eye is just now figuring it out, right? They only debuted a year ago. But right now, and I think they're forming that identity of who they want to be. For Fifth Harmony, it really took them from maybe 2012 until when was Boss? I want to say 2014, maybe. It took them a good 2 years to really begin to show what they wanted Fifth Harmony to be. So, you know, they're right on track. They definitely are, especially with an EP that's debuting top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. Oh, you're giving them no choice. They're gonna be like, who? Who is this? You mean your EP went top 5 on the Billboard album 200? I said Hot 100, but I meant 200. My goodness, that is something to talk about. You don't even have an album yet. So, again, I can't wait. There are so many good groups out there. Fourth Impact. I'm telling you, look, this group, they are from the Philippines. I've been reacting to them on YouTube for the longest time. I love them. They are singers. They understand each other through and through. Like, they've had so much growth over the last couple of years. Like, they do it all. They wear every hat. And, they've just been, as of recently over the last year or so, have been really targeting the States and really kind of starting to build an audience here. And I really think that they are beginning to do that. I think they're beginning to find their footing. They released an EP, and Oh my goodness, their EP really showed me that there is some potential here because you can tell that they were really testing the waters. And I think that they understood that kind of they had this pop feel that they needed fulfilled, but also this old time type, theatrical feel to them because a lot of their covers were theatrical. And I feel like they really explored those areas of themselves. And they have a song called Round and Round. It's honestly such a good song, and it really paints a picture of the direction that they want to go in and what sounds good on them. So Fourth Impact, check them out. Say Now, check them out. And here's what I do have to say about Say Now. Um, you know, I really enjoyed them. They have a song called Don't Text, Don't Call. That song really made me look their way. Now, obviously, before they picked Say Now, I I saw them, I was aware of them, you know what I mean? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let them develop, come back to them. I heard Don't Text, Don't Call. They ate that up. Like Don't Text, Don't Call, don't da 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 da, like ate that up. I'm telling you, that made me look their way. But they have the song called Brick by Brick. And the song, I actually really kind of enjoy it. It's the choreography, I think. The choreography, I think it needs a complete revamp because it just doesn't feel like it clicks with the song. The choreography is so cute, but it almost felt like the choreographer tried a little too hard. And I don't want to be shady to anybody. I don't, but I'm just watching them do this choreography. And at first, and I was even looking at the comments. The comments agreed. And I was like, maybe they just need a little more work with the choreography. They need a little more time. But I've never thought that watching any of their videos doing choreography. So I don't think it's them. I think it's the choreography in itself. I think it needs to change. But, you know, that's really my only complaint. I think they sing wonderfully. Like, oh my goodness, they're such a good group. They have great chemistry. Yeah, that's really it for me. I love them. So Fourth Impact, Say Now, for real. Um, let's see, what other girl groups are there? Let me look up a list because obviously, you have groups like Twice and you have groups like Blackpink. I personally don't listen to those groups, but I have heard some Blackpink songs that kind of, are really cute boppery to me. But personally, I just don't like the teas, which is fine, but they're so iconic. The song Jump, I really don't like it, but they ate. They did. I saw them perform it live and I saw the music video. And I think the production on it is absolutely insane, but it's just not my cup of tea, which is also fine. I respect their talent individually and a group. When I I was telling people, yeah, they're reuniting, and people were like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah." Did you think that they would be gone forever? Absolutely not. I mean, Little Mix will be making their way right back to each other very soon. I mean, very soon. I'm within the next 5 years for sure. They're gonna come back together and they're gonna do an album. I honestly think after they all get a solo album out, they're gonna come back to Little Mix, however long that is, within the next 5 years for sure. But if they get an album out within the next 2 to 3 years, yeah, they'll definitely be back to Little Mix within the next 3 years. I can totally see it. They miss it down, and I think that they really needed this opportunity to go off on their own and do their own thing. And look, there's also no saying while they do Little Mix stuff that they also can't continue to do their solo stuff because they've really established being on their own already. So going back to Little Mix, it's just really finding the balance of, oh, this block we're dedicating our time to this, and next block we're dedicating our time to that. So I don't know, I think it just adds layers on it to them, and I honestly can't wait to see what Little Mix looks like. Now look, I'm gonna do obviously another Keeping Up with Fifth Harmony for those who do not know, okay? But I don't know, Fifth Harmony, the girls obviously they're like, look, surprise last minute girls trip. They were out with Allie and her husband. And look, they've had plenty of time to deny rumors, but they have not. They have not denied one single rumor. They have reps. They've seen it. The reps have seen it. Something could have shut this story down, or rumors. Nothing has. So that leads me to believe that there is some legitimacy to what is being said. And look, I don't think that they are beyond a point where they can do this. Because I feel like, A, they don't have to be involved with Epic Records at all. But also, it gives them a platform to tell their story, right? Which needs to be told. But also, it gives them room to put their music on a platform. And I've said this before, because touring isn't cheap. Not at all. And if it was, they'd probably be on one more often. So the reality of it is, they've worked their entire teens to be able to have this platform that they do. So, why not use it? I see no harm in going on this Fifth Harmony reunion tour, where this reunion tour has solo sections for each individual girl to be able to tour their own music. Touring is expensive. A reunion and a solo tour, all of them, all in one at the same time, and a documentary, the fruits of your labor. That's what that is. That would be the fruits of their labor. If the rumors are true, why wouldn't they? There's nothing stopping them from releasing solo music. They're not tied up with Epic Records right now. They have the ability to re-record things, put them out. That doesn't require Epic Records. They have the means to do things that does not have to stick them in some sort of commitment. And I think that's in the best place possible for them to be. Well, oh, girl groups are so back. They are. And I realized girl groups were so back when, so apparently, here's the tea. Daniela was seen sitting with some girl from the academy who has some comments to say about Manon. So I'm just finding all of this out. I don't really know what the tea is, right? I'm not really deeply invested in like fan lore of Cat's Eye, but like I'm invested in the choreography. That's as deep as it goes, for real though. But it was interesting to see because people were like, well, Mana deleted so and so Daniela off her TL and blah 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 blah. And the only person that Daniela didn't repost for her birthday was Mana. And like, oh, is there drama going on between them? I don't know if there's drama going on between them. But the fact that people are speculating this drama between girl group members, I'm like, oh, girl groups are totally back. They are. Like, I haven't seen drama like this since like 2017. Yeah, keep that up. For sure. Actually, don't keep that up. I'm just being messy. But like, I just cackled a little bit because I was like, yeah. Like it's totally a clear indicator that we are so back. I'm so excited because there's nothing I love more than a girl group, because girl groups, they make you feel so alive, so empowered. They make you want to get up, they make you want to dance. Like you feel like you can take on the world because the power that they hold together, it I honestly feel like it's the strongest thing on this earth. when women are in a group together and they stand together, they make some of the best music. They make some of the best moments. Truly. I feel like that's so underappreciated in this country, but everywhere else it is not. Some of the biggest acts all over this globe are girl groups, several of them. It's ridiculous to me. I just want to get this country up on girl groups. Like, they make phenomenal music. There's no reason why Fly Girl by Flo and Missy Elliott did not chart in the US. Look, I'm just saying, there are a lot of girl groups that just fly under the radar. But a lot of them right now are kicking their way through the door because there is a void. Whoever really wants it is going to get it. And I keep coming back to Cat's Eye every time I say it because I don't feel like the same applies to them, because it's not that they're not kicking down the doors, right? All of these other groups have to work a billion times harder than they do, but there's such a big machine behind Cat's Eye that goes beyond them. That doesn't discredit the girls' work to have to get into Cat's Eye or to where they are now with the group. But the group in itself is a machine, right? The group is behind a machine. The group doesn't even have its own YouTube channel. They can't really write that music. They are controlled. To an extent, it's nothing like Fifth Harmony where they couldn't even choose their lip gloss. They do have a lot more freedom. You know, Fifth Harmony was in hotel rooms. They were performing in malls. Yeah, they had to perform in malls, go on a Mall of America tour, and, eat ramen from Target. Yeah, there was a totally different experience. They did not have the same platform, even though the route of reality TV show or cameras in front of you to form a girl group is shared. It's not the same. it, People can say I'm biased all I want to, but they had it the worst of all of them. From reality group standpoints, they had it the worst. Down to their contracts. Talk to their lawyer, not me. Okay? But what I'm seeing is a better treatment of these groups. I am, truly. But here's what I'm also seeing. And this is coming back to Cat's Eye because it's very questionable to me. They always have a member missing in some sort of content. And that blows my mind because the show can't go on without you. It reminds me so much of Fifth Harmony. Like, Lauren couldn't be there that day for recording for whatever reason. So she was left off of Boss, or I don't know. I don't think it was Boss. Worth It, right? Yeah. Lauren is not on Worth It. Ali is not on I Lied. Dinah is not on Boss. Dinah's not on Sledgehammer. So it's just interesting because it just sends me right back to that time. I'm like, why are you recording music videos? And look, fine, Laura was hurt. I get it, right? They found a way to work her into that video. They did a Gabriella performance video without. Nah. I was like, oh my goodness. Stop. Like, I always find it to be an issue. Like, even dating over back to a year, because I remember being so annoyed. And that's what turned me away from Cat's Eye at first, right? Like, immediately, I knew when they debuted, they were really aimed towards the K-pop lane. That was clear, but they were always hiding a member. And I personally felt like it was the brown girls usually that were hitting. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Every time I saw a video, that is what I saw. And it annoyed the hell out of me. And here we are a year later, and I just feel like Mana and Laura eat it the fuck up every time they are in the front. Danielle is that girl. She's so consistent. She like she really serves it girl. Like in every ounce of her being. Like she can't help it but be it girl. Girl, I would just like a girl group that still has a machine behind them, for sure. For sure. Right? But the machine is behind them for the reason that their work is good. The artist is trusted. They are involved in the music process in every which way, right? You want to have people in there, to work with them, help guide, whatever. But I'm very much over this whole you sing what we give you. That's that, right? You do the choreography, we serve you. That's that. Like, I would love to see a girl group where they're so creative and creatively involved in every aspect of it. Because I don't feel like we see that. That's annoying to me. My girl, please, somebody, because I could only imagine a Fifth Harmony where they were given creative freedom to write, to do their solo music, to exist in and outside of the group, to form identity that wasn't just solely inside of Fifth Harmony. Because by the time they went solo, that's all they really knew. And of course, these are platforms, such gratefulness, and you know what I mean? People don't take these things for granted, as they shouldn't. Doesn't mean there aren't things that can't be fixed. And I'm just hoping as time passes that things get better. Right? But when I see things like, cats are hiding members and shooting things without members, even though they may be sick or maybe can't perform, like, I don't know, maybe wait. you know, maybe wait. Because is it really cat's eye if you don't have everybody inside the content? Like, I get it if it happens, like once or something, but don't make that a thing that people can expect because I don't know if the next thing that you're going to release has everybody. And that does impact, your song's performance, your content's performance. For sure, maybe all of them are in the song, but not the visual content in itself. It also ruins the replay value of it. I'm sure if Laura was actually in fully inside the Game Boy video, that it would have been so replayed. I think that would have been an even bigger song. But it is what it is. Girl groups are so back. The drama is here. Mm-mm. I'm like I said, I'm just really excited to see what is on the horizons for girl groups. I feel like the Renaissance is here, and it's only a matter of time before we really start seeing them pop off. Only a matter of time. I don't know. Maybe Flo is the second coming of Little Mix, and maybe Cat's Eye is the second coming of Fifth Harmony. There can never be a second coming of One Direction. I don't think that the industry is capable of providing another boy band that could even serve that. I feel like they would have to already be together or find their way to each other without the industry involved. That's the only way we will probably get any boy band hits that even have half the quality as them. That's not something you replicate. And same goes for any girl group prior. You can't replicate them. That's why it's always so drastically different every time. But anyhow, love me some girl groups, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening, though. Seriously. I mean, my obsession with girl groups is kind of crazy. It really is. Like, I don't know. I can't. It's something about them. It's so inspiring to me. I just specifically remember very dark days in college. Like, not getting out of bed, just in my room, locked away, and had no motivation for anything. But popped on that Fifth Harmony song and it made me want to get up out of bed. It made me want to do choreography again. It made me want to dance. And slowly I just watched it bring back to life a part of my life that kind of died. It was hidden away. Fear and judgment kept it from rising. But my goodness, once that feeling really resided of being so fearful of everything, of people seeing you and judging you, oh my goodness, look what it became. Look at the platforms built, the connections met because of me doing things despite being scared or having some sort of fear. Doing it anyway. Period. And those are the kind of feelings that I feel like girl groups encourage, invalidate, and speak through to you. People think, oh, maybe this is the most surface. Like, you can listen to That's My Girl by Fifth Harmony, like, eh. But let me tell you something. When you're depressed as hell, you gotta wake up for an 8 a.m. in college. You need a little something to get your ass up out that bed. I used to wake up, play that song in my headphones, and it would literally encourage me to get out of my bed, go brush my teeth, wash my face, get in the shower, go to class, and literally I would listen to that song on repeat walking to my class. It was the confidence boost that I needed. So I'm always riding for a girl group, especially one that has it. And these girlies in this podcast, they all have it. And then some. So keep an eye out for them, all right, y'all? I'm hopping off here. But I appreciate you. Like I said, thank you so much for tuning into the That's So Dev podcast where you stay true and you stay you. You're iconic. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else. I appreciate you. Okay? Drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourself, because if you don't, who the hell else will? Exactly. All right, y'all. I'm out of here, and I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.